Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So, listen, we went one day without crazy bank news. Apparently, we can't go two because today we have the craziest bank news I think we've covered all year. They're in a bad position right now, but we'll get to that in later chapters. So, obviously, we have some bank news today. We have some XRP news, Bitcoin news. We have some Treasuries news. We have home buyer news. We have a lot to get through. We may end off with BRICS Nations news. We also have some commodities news today. We got a lot of stuff to get through today. Hope you're all doing fine out there. My apologies for the late release yesterday. That was on YouTube. YouTube was having some big glitch. A lot of us content creators, our videos were not being processed. So it got released a little bit later, but still got you your content. All right. But that was on YouTube. So my apologies if you didn't get to see that video. It was released late last night, probably about 11 p.m. or so. All right. So, but that's what was going on. All right. So now let's begin here. This article is titled Ripple Ramps Up Effort to Strike SEC's Expert Materials. So let's find out what's going on here. It begins as such. San Francisco based company Ripple has filed a new letter to bolster its motion to strike the U.S. SEC Commission's expert materials. As reported by UDOT today, Ripple moved to strike the expert materials from Andrea Fox. We read about that before, an assistant chief accountant in the regulator's division of enforcement. Its key argument against the SEC hinged on the untimely disclosure. The defendant said that the regulator was supposed to disclose its expert witness before the final stage of the discovery. Ripple took issue to the fact that Fox was not disclosed as an expert witness. Instead, she was described as a summary witness by the SEC. In its most recent filing, this is the update here, Ripple says that the SEC has no good explanation as to why Fox's declaration touts her as an accountant if she is not testifying as an expert. Ripple asserts that Fox did, quote, much more, unquote, than simply copying, pasting, and adding numbers. Furthermore, it says that the SEC's cases do not support the agency's characterization of a summary witness. Quote, even if Fox were a summary witness, rather than an expert, the parties' agreement and the court's scheduling order required the SEC to disclose her before the close of discovery. Required them, but they didn't. How long are people going to let these people break the law? That's pretty, it's clearly they're doing illegal things. The court says do this, they don't. They're supposed to abide by these certain rules. They don't. This regulatory, how are they regulatory if they're the ones breaking the laws, if they're the ones making everybody lose money? I'm just so sick of them. I'm tired of it. And none of these traditional hierarchical organizations are doing anything about it. So how long before the people actually say, hey, we need to do something different? How long are people going to repeat the same process and take the same losses because nothing is being done differently? You have to change the minds. You have to change the systems. It's like people are scared. They're, listen, you can skip this part and go to the next chapter, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say. It's like they're holding on to the old systems like a security blanket, but the old systems are broken. You have to replace them with something new. What? I don't know. Get a consortium together. There's a lot of brilliant people out here. We have a lot of them are subscribers on this channel, and that's for real. They're really brilliant and they have great ideas. But anyway, you get a consortium together, you come up with new systems. But this can't continue. They're clearly involved in my humble opinion, this is illegal activity. This is completely corrupt. This is complete corruption. I don't know, folks. You tell me. This should not be a roadblock right now. This is nonsense right now. And when this happens, they're never penalized. So they get to penalize everybody else. They get to punish everybody else. They get to make everybody lose all this money all these years, but they don't pay the price. That doesn't sit well with me. And I don't like bullies. 1, I don't like cheaters. 2, and I don't like hypocrisy either. We'll get to that later. We'll get back to hypocrisy a little bit later because the banks are getting exposed big time. And I'm laughing. Aren't they supposed to be so trustworthy? Aren't they supposed to be better than crypto? Right. They're crying about everybody taking their monies out of the bank's deposit flight and going into money market funds. Money market funds, not money market accounts. Oh, no, don't cry now. But let's continue on here. So now, we have another article here. This article is titled Ripple CEO Louds Expert Ledger Community Momentum. Listen, folks, you got to understand, I'm not a traditionalist. I don't like hierarchies. I'm a person who embraces change, right? I'm a person who understands that I believe people make the best decisions for themselves. And I don't support people lording over other people or governing them or controlling them. That's just not me. You're just not going to get that out of me. I'm not. I believe you make the best decisions for you. I make the best decisions for me. And if we have to collaborate, then we come to some sort of middle ground. But not to have these entities really who are, saturated with money that moves them this way or that, making decisions for us. That's never going to work. You can't have billions or trillions of dollars. I'm pretty sure it's pretty high. Of lobbying, what is lobbying other than bribing? Let's just call it what it is. These people don't think you should go left, right? I'm just using direction as an example. They don't think you should go left, but then these people come in with money and they have a discussion with them, which, let's be real about it, their persuasive abilities are lacking. It's the money that's talking. And then all of a sudden they pay them all this money, donate all of this money, and then they're controlled. Now they want to go this way. They were going that way before. Now they're going this way. That's bribery. You can't have a good system based on that. Just my humble opinion. And the banking system is no different. But let's go here. This next article is titled Ripple CEO Louts XRP Ledger Community Momentum. It begins as such. In a recent tweet, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse expressed his admiration for the increasing drive and initiative shown by the XRP community in organizing and participating in community-led events. Some people like to socialize, some people do not. To each his own. But for those who like to socialize and come together to build something, I guess, or make some connections, this is a good thing. It says this acknowledgement comes as community-led events witness a surge in participation. Like what? Give me an example. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You assume that we know what's going on. Where's this being posted? On Twitter? I'm not on Twitter. So tell me what's going on. I love how these articles, they write certain stuff, but they don't give me the details. Like you're telling me a story without giving me the body of what's going on. But anyway, let's keep going. Garlinghouse expressed excitement at the increase in the amount of XRP community-led events this year, including XRP Gold Coast event in March, as well as XRP Las Vegas and XRPL Apex. Okay, so thank you. You gave me some stuff. It says, quote, what did they do there? What was it? What was happening? What progress was made? I'd like to know. There's people just shaking hands and meeting each other. Like, was there something built? Or I don't know. Well, see, when I think about what's the purpose of something. How does it move something forward? What is it doing to benefit me or them or anyone else if I participate? That's how I look at things. And at this point in my life, if it doesn't benefit me, you're not going to see me there. Period. If it doesn't benefit me or my family, you're not going to see me participate. I don't have time. I just feel that way. I don't have time to waste every single second of every day. And I'm not kidding at all. Every single second of every day, my focus is to make it count. I wake up in the morning and I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to be taking another breath, to have another day to try, to live. And I know, and I feel that way a lot because of things that have happened in my family, people I've lost, things like that. Trust me, it made a huge impact on me, multiples of people. So when I wake up, I'm thinking, okay, everything I do needs to be impactful on my life. So just hanging out, and I get it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, even when I relax, I get my relaxation time as well. Even that counts because I'm going to relax. I'm going to meditate, clearing my mind. I'm going to another level mentally. I'm going to read a book. I'm learning from the books I read. I'm constantly learning from them. It benefits me in some way. You get what I'm saying? If I go exercise or something like that, let's say I'm wrestling or I'm doing jujitsu or I'm playing basketball. I love to play basketball. That's fit. I'm having fun, but that's fitness. It benefits me. If something doesn't have a benefit, if it can't show a clear benefit, I don't even bother. That's just me. I just speak for me. I don't speak for you. I'm not trying to convince you, but we're having a conversation. Anyway, it says, quote, it's from Brad Garlinghouse. It says, very excited to see the number of XRP community-led events growing this year. With the XRP Gold Coast in March, he iterates more of what they said, what he's saying. Literally verbatim. One sentence from his quote, they said the exact same thing. I don't know why they do that constantly. It's like article writers' version of filler. You have these college students And instead of having meaningful words fill up every single sentence in an essay, there's a lot of filler in there. It's like, what are you talking about? They just trail on and on and on and on. It's like, no, make it count. There's filler. I think this is the article writer's version of filler, just iterating what was from a tweet, even though you cropped the tweet. The surge in community-led events within the XRP ecosystem reflects a growing sense of unity and purpose among community members. I guess. It says, who are actively engaging with each other to exchange ideas. What ideas? Share knowledge. What knowledge? Elaborate. And collaborate on projects of mutual interest. Thank you. Okay. Even though you're not giving examples of what projects, but now that it could be powerful. Thank you. That's good. That's what I want to see. Okay, so maybe they're building something. They can make something. But once again, you didn't elaborate. I would love to know what. As long as it's good for the XRPL, that's all I care about. But at least you said that there's something happening that is that can move things forward and benefit the people that are there. They're not just wasting their time shaking hands and having drinks, right? Just my humble opinion. So now let's get to a little bit of Bitcoin news, because we're going to get through this and get to that bank news. So this article here is titled Bitcoin billionaire Arthur Hayes predicts market bottom is in, slow grind higher. Bitcoin has hit its bottom, Bitcoin billionaire Arthur Hayes argued, and now he predicts the market will see, quote, a slow grind higher, unquote. I did see things looking really good earlier in the day. Bitcoin looked like it was up. A lot of altcoins looked like they were going up. So it was looking pretty good. I'll say this once again, you're going to have volatility. How high does it go before people start taking profit heavily again? I think, just my humble opinion, just from watching patterns. Okay, I'm going off the top of my head, just remembering patterns. I think it goes up a good deal. I don't know if it's as high as before. And then I think it goes down again. I think people are if you look at the fear and greed index, it's still going more towards that fear level this way, as opposed to where it was before with greed. Because it's still there and things are going up, I think people are still on edge. Not just based on that, but I'm just using that as support for my argument. So I think there's a possibility of Bitcoin going up a little bit, people taking profit again, and then going back down. But like I said, we've been talking about this kind of volatility the entire time. But that's short term. I want to make that clear. I think in the long term is what this individual is talking about. Slow grind up. So if you look at that, you zoom out and look at the bigger chart, you'll probably see it look like it's on a consistent upward trajectory. And when you zoom in, short term, you're going to see a lot of that volatility. It's going to be a lot of, risings and fallings. That makes sense. And I think you're going to see more now than ever. Once again, I want to say, because people are in a harsh economic circumstance, especially in the United States, they're going to take profit much more quickly, much more cold-heartedly than ever before. So expect extreme volatility. Just my humble opinion. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. Maybe Bitcoin takes off like a rocket and continuously goes up. But I'm not leaning towards that side. I got to tell you I don't have time to waste. So I'm giving you my honest opinion. It says here, when the Bitcoin price tanks, traders tend to take cover and look for signs that the market has reached bottom and will reverse its trajectory. To that end, Bitcoin billionaire and former BitMEX CEO Arthur Hayes has some cautious optimism to share. Quote, while I don't expect crypto to fully realize the recent U.S. monetary announcements' inflationary nature immediately, unquote, he wrote in a blog post, quote, I expect prices to bottom, chop, and begin a slow grind higher, unquote. In other words, he thinks that the worst is over for now. We shall see. We'll see, sir. You made a lot of good calls. We shall see. So now moving on here, a little bit more Bitcoin news. Hope you all are doing fantastic out there. I hope your life is giving you love. I hope you're giving yourself love. I hope you're giving yourself peace. You have to bring stuff to yourself. Don't wait for life to bring you anything. Bring it to yourself. Sometimes if you wait for life, it can be so random. It can be so spacious. And a lot of times, a lot of times life will give you its backside to kiss. Bring it to yourself. Make peace for yourself. Make growth for yourself. You can do it. You can, whatever it is you have in your mind positively, and you have that higher level that you want to reach, you can do it. Don't doubt yourself. Don't give up. It doesn't matter how young you are. Doesn't matter how old you are. That's a myth. That's a myth. You can do it. You can be healthier. You can be better. You can be happier, whatever you want. You know, I'm leaving out the superficial. Like I say, you could be richer and all that kind of stuff. I don't care about that right now. Like, you know, if I could contribute anything, it would be to the base of what a person is. Mind, heart, or heart. Some people say spirit, however you want to say it. That's important. Love, good experiences carry you through life when times get dark, and times can get dark. So you have to make sure that you are manufacturing, like you're making it happen. I want to say manufacturing sounds very cold and robotic, but I don't mean it in that way. But I mean, you have to build good moments for yourself. Trust me on that. I'm telling you, when you start to get older, those good moments, when you look back on them, it may not mean as much when you're younger, but when you get older, those good moments will carry you through. You sit there in your silence, in your meditation, in your time off from work, revisit those good memories. I'm telling you, it's going to fill you with love and this good feeling. It'll help you get through another day, another week. Remember the good time. Make the good times so you can remember the good times. It's almost like a means of self-love, almost. Anyway, and self-soothing. That's important. All right, so now, this article is titled, Trader Who Called 2021 Collapse Issues Bitcoin Alert, says Bitcoin may be in for more downside. So I was just iterating something like this, but once again, this, in my opinion, is more short-term view. Long-term, I see Bitcoin going up much higher than it's ever gone before. I could be wrong on that. It's not financial advice, okay? Not a financial advisor. I have to say that. A trader known for several accurate crypto market calls says that Bitcoin may not be done correcting after suddenly dropping below 58,000. It says pseudonymous analyst Dave the Wave. That's a cool name. Dave the Wave tells his followers on X that he is closely watching to see if Bitcoin will hold support at a key Fibonacci retracement level. It says, based on historic precedents, the analyst had accurately predicted a possible move down to around $58,000. Quote, I don't really see too much drama in Bitcoin at the moment, still in the range, still some wiggle room down to the 0.382 fib, the standard of previous consolidations. Perhaps much of the nervousness comes from the fact that price moves in multiple thousands now that it is so high, whereas in terms of percentages, it is Bitcoin's normal. I agree with that. Good insight. Good wisdom here. However, the analyst warns a break below the 0.382 Fibonacci level, which is around $58,000, could send Bitcoin plummeting to around $48,000. You know, I don't know about 48, but if it did go down more, you're going to see more heavy selling. You're going to see more panic. That's just natural for the people. The people panic so easily and the reactions are so dramatic. That's going to happen, you know, but we'll see if this actually comes to pass. I mean, like that will happen if it goes down there. Not it's guaranteed to happen. There's no guarantees, but I think that there's a possibility we see some consolidation around where it is right now, maybe even go up a little bit more. But once again, I think profit taking will be massive once people get to a level where they think that's the top for that moment. They think that's the height for that moment. And if you get massive profit taking, like, you're going to see more panic selling. Once again, watch the fear and greed index is going this way right now towards fear. Watch it. So now let's move on here. I don't know if that was eloquent or not. My apologies if it wasn't. So now we're going to get on to this banking news now. Oh boy, here we go. This article is titled TD Bank. TD faces DOJ probe. I don't even know if I can say this. It's a drug type thing. I'm just going to use drug as the word. Drug money laundering. So let me read this a little bit and then I'll make some comments. TD Bank is under investigation after Justice Department agents discovered a money laundering operation through the bank associated with illicit drug activity, agents discovered that millions of dollars in illicit funds in New York and New Jersey came through the bank, according to court documents seen by the Wall Street Journal and sources familiar with the matter. My apologies, I have a little air trapped in my chest. And sources familiar with the matter. That's why I pause a little bit sometimes. The DOJ alleges that criminals bribed TD employees. This is the security that banks keep saying they have over crypto? Because correct me if I'm wrong, nobody's touching anybody's cold wallet. I can't speak for hot wallets. Some of them are solid, some of them have some vulnerability, but hard, air-gapped cold wallets, nobody's touching your cold wallet to protect your value. Nobody's touching your gold. Let's go to commodities. Nobody's touching your gold. So, but the banks, let's do a rundown of all the different corruptions that have been exposed in the last 2 months. So we had an executive that stole this, allegedly, this is what the article said. An executive of a bank stole over millions of dollars from a client. That's in addition to the other executive who stole, what was it, like $30,000 from a person. Now you have employees being bribed. Oh, let's not forget the data breaches. Yeah, which is going to cost people a lot of money. The data breaches, because whatever that employee was at the bank we covered, it was about 2 weeks ago. They claim that person allowed access by accident. Right. Accident. Right. My word. But this is how secure the banks are, that they tell people that they can trust. But don't trust crypto. Crypto is bad, but trust the banks. Hypocrisy much? Yes, I think so. It says here, once again, so what does this result in? What can be the result of this? More deposit flight? Already, the experts were saying that the trust in the banks is at an all-time low. You can look, everything I say, look it up. Look everything I say up, check it, because I love for you to see for yourself. So they said, the experts said, the trust in the banks by customers is at an all-time low. 1, which is corroborated by the fact that there's massive deposit flight. That's 2. That's only going to increase with this. I couldn't imagine being a customer at this TD Bank, which is one of the largest regional banks, by the way. I would be calling them. I would be switching my money over. I would not have my money here. If they could be bribed into doing this drug activity with money, this is money laundering. What else are they capable of? Are they capable of taking people's money? You see, I don't trust them. I don't trust that at all. Not at all. I work too hard for my money. I don't know about you. I know you do as well, but you get what I'm saying. We work too hard for our money for anyone to play with that. It says DOJ agents had followed members of SZE's group during their investigation. And one day, this is a person's name. Z's team stopped at 3 separate TD branches, and DOJ prosecutors allege Z and others provided gift cards and other bribes worth at least $57,000 to bank employees. So people committed crimes. Well, I don't know their situation, but I don't care. Just my humble opinion. I mean, you're going to do some time. $57,000 was worth the rest of your life. You don't know how much they monitor these banks. They'll let you get away with something for a while just so you could wiggle your way deeper into the web. So if it only took $57,000 to get these people to do something corrupt in this banking system, then the banking systems are in trouble, because there's bigger money out there. That's criminal money. I'm sure of it. You watch TV, you see the stuff that they do. How many other organizations in banks or employees in banks are capable of this? And they haven't even been caught yet. And the money is much bigger and they're much better at it. See, that makes me question it. So Z's organization laundered funds by buying cashier's checks and wiring funds to thousands of individuals in the U.S., Hong Kong, and other places, the DOJ said. The bank is cooperating with law enforcement and regulators, a spokesperson told Banking Dive. But why did it take the DOJ to catch them? Why didn't the bank notice what was going on? The bank is supposed to monitor their employees. Criminals routinely seek to launder money through banks, Yeah, but isn't that interesting that they say that here? This is Yahoo Finance, by the way, which they actually write some very good articles. But they say that here on Yahoo Finance. But when you're hearing regulators and you're hearing the government, they say the banks are fine. They're the most safe. Crypto is bad, but banks good. Crypto is not safe. Illicit money activities with crypto. Where? That's happening everywhere, in everything. But they say no illicit activities with the banks. This looks like it proves you wrong. And this is just one. We'll get to others later. Oh, don't worry. Another time. All right, so let's move on from there. All right. Here's a little bit of interesting news. You know what's very creepy? This ever happened to you? Sometimes you say things and then it happens. So strange, right? That happens to me a lot. I say things and then it happens. So if you remember, I put out a video still up. You can go back and find it if you wanted to, because some people do that. They go back and find the old videos. I was talking about this maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I had a little segment in the video. I was talking about Blade and the great Wesley Snipes, the criminally underrated Wesley Snipes. And I was saying, I don't care what people say, and Mahershala Ali is a good actor, but nobody is Blade but Wesley Snipes. And if Wesley, Mr. Snipes, is still in good shape, bring him back. Guess what happened, folks? So I made that video. Do you know 2 days ago, they announced Wesley Snipes is coming back as Blade? It blew my mind. It was so creepy. I know, some people believe in coincidence. I don't know what you would call this, but I'm telling you, it's just, anyway, I'm very happy to see Wesley Snipes coming back as Blade. I think they're going to do a multiverse thing. So you probably will have the new Blade and then you'll have the old Blade, which then also, you know what's crazy? How come we never saw the lady get her proper shine? I can't remember her name from the movie, but she could have been a great vampire hunter character. And, but anyway, they'll probably have Wesley. They'll probably have Mahershala Ali. My opinion. I'm just mutilating that name. Both playing Blade. I hope they do a good job. Let Wesley shine. I'm telling you, he has charisma. Good actor. He's a real martial artist, by the way. That's why the moves look nice and crisp and sharp. The people, I'm telling you, people from my generation and people that watch the first 2-3 Blades, they will come watch. They will support. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. I always have to have a little something I put in here. I like to talk to the people. So anyway. And I want to set the record straight too, because a lot of people are like, well, the Blade did set it off for Marvel. That's what Blade is, Marvel, right? For Marvel. But the comic book superhero that popped off comic book movies, in my opinion, Batman. None other, and not just any Batman. Michael Keaton's Batman. Yeah. So let's just get that straight. It says here, we have a Stellar article. It's very rare. So this article is titled Stellar Smart Contracts Bring DeFi to the Real World. All right. It says, in a growing world of Web3 and digital finance, the adoption of cryptocurrency and the use cases for smart contract technology is constantly evolving, building on the foundation set in place by Satoshi Nakamoto. The use cases for this technology have transcended from a, quote, peer-to-peer electronic cash system, unquote, to tools for human coordination, memes, institutional grade financial products, yacht clubs, and so much more. However complex or seemingly simple these use cases can be, many have developed as a way to follow one of the most foundational principles in crypto, the democratization of finance. Crypto has long been hailed as a revolutionary force with the potential of banking the unbanked. You know, a lot of these articles, when they're written, and I'm always happy to see an article written about Stellar, but they're sort of written to people who are not familiar with crypto. A lot of us are very familiar with the bank coins and crypto and their use cases. We're very deep researchers. We're a huge community. We're just quiet. We're not the ones who are loud and screaming and arguing and you see us all the time and hear us all the time. No, we're just quiet, but we have numbers. So we're mostly the ones who read about this. So you want to access the new audience with these articles, I can tell, but I don't think they're the ones primarily reading this. You're preaching to the choir right now. It says, the Stellar ecosystem is creating an equitable financial system, solving real world issues and connecting the digital world of cryptocurrency to real world everyday individuals. Stop. No, stop. I've been in Stellar since I got into this. I've been a heavy holder of Stellar, a never back down supporter of XLM. Let's be clear, XLM, right? Okay. They love the big companies. United Nations, Bank for International Settlements, it's CC Bank. They're getting phone calls from the White House. Like, where is it? They love to say that, well, we're doing it for the individuals, and yet they always go for something big and huge. You look at Everynet and Velo and their connections also over there in Asia. Big companies. They're trying to do, what do you call that? Replace Swift in Asia, which we still have to get updates on that. And then, of course, there's all the regulatory hurdles and stuff like that we still have to get through. But it seems like things are progressing. But that's big money. That involves big companies. So when you do like the disbursement platform, that's for payroll, right? So every time they do something, it's big money stuff for big companies to use. But they always like to say, well, it's for everyday individuals. But I have yet to see that. Like, sure, they can use the wallets. Is that what you're talking about? Wallets? But how much are those wallets promoted? I'm just saying Stellar is a big money thing. Well, I don't know why they're trying to pretend to be something else. That sounds good. Just my humble opinion. You could disagree. You could disagree. I'm fine with that. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I just speak my piece. I just speak my truth. Now, so the state of inclusivity. Yeah, you want to include yourself in some of that money. That's why you're going after all the big money. It says, even in a growing period of rapid evolution and adoption, the crypto ecosystem remains an intricate maze of technologies and social systems. Oh, let me not forget. Let me also put in Franklin Templeton, big money company. Wisdom Tree, big money company. You see what I'm talking about? Stellar, you are for the big money. Just keep going after the big money. Keep doing a good job. So you just unleashed your smart contracts, which is what this article is about. It's about the smart contracts on Stellar, which is great. This is on CoinDesk.com. This is a big website, a big crypto website. So if people didn't know Stellar has smart contracts, now they do. I like that. This is good. Keep writing articles. Stellar, reach out to some of these news organizations. Reach out to some of these people and have more articles written so that more people can learn about your smart contracts. Most people are not on Twitter and X. They're not. I'm telling you, companies. A lot of you companies are just huddled up on Twitter. And it's a lazy approach to media exposure. And you think you just make a post and it's just going to fly. No, it doesn't work that way. You got to put in work. I'm not just talking to Stellar. This is a lot of companies. All right. No, you have to reach out to some of these news organizations. Make a phone call. Hey, listen, we have a product. You want to talk about that? How can you talk about that? Keep good relations with these people and have consistent updates with them. Build a relationship with them. And that's how you get the world knowing about smart contracts. If not, it's not going to be the bulk of regular people using them. They won't know about it. When people say smart contract, they think Ethereum. So everybody, even Solana, is fighting that uphill battle. But what you're going to have is the big companies do know, because Wisdom Tree will probably use smart contracts on Stellar. Franklin Templeton will probably use smart contracts on Stellar. And then they're going to let their people know, hey, listen, this is what we're using. And then more big companies will come. Stellar is about the big money. I mean, listen, we'll see what happens in the future. It's up to them to actuate on things. I don't control that. I just know the trajectory of it. It looks good. And I'm not going to deny what it is. And I'm not going to tell a lie like whatever for the people. I've always said they're for the big money, just like Ripple. They're for the big money. That's why there's so much XLM. That's why there's so much XRP. It's supposed to be global. It's going to be global. But what they're doing is they're working with, pay attention, they're working with a lot of these big money entities in hopes that it filters down to the people. So like they're working with, let's say MoneyGram. MoneyGram is building all of these Stellar-based wallets. They were supposed to come out with like 3 or 4 more, right? Did they do that? Because I haven't heard an update. We read the article where they said, well, we're working on 3 or 4 more of these Stellar-based wallets. They already had like 1 or 2. What happened with that? But anyway, But that's a big company that's going to filter that out to the rest of the world. So yeah, that's just my humble opinion. Stellar's a big money company going after the big money. So now let's move on from there. All right. We have some housing market news. I want to get through as much of this news today as possible because I enjoy a lot of this news, just reading it, dissecting it. And I feel really bad sometimes when I can't get through all of it. That's why sometimes the videos go a little bit longer. Listen, you got to enjoy what you do, man. If you're on a basketball court shooting, some people love to shoot that ball. It's not about scoring. They're not about winning. They love to shoot that ball. They love the motion. In martial arts, some people love the flow of martial arts. It's like meditation. And some of us are researchers. We love learning new things. We love dissecting new things and speaking about it in a progressive, productive way. But anyway, this article is titled, Housing Market Sees Trend Not Witnessed in 2 Years. Here we go. We used to cover the housing market heavily, just haven't that in U.S. Treasuries. We haven't covered too heavily this year, but we went hard in the paint last year. So it says the median home sale price increased or stayed the same in all of the 50 most populous metropolitan areas in the U.S. during the 4 weeks up to April 28th. According to the latest report from Redfin, in the first time in nearly 2 years since July 2022 that this has happened, the metropolitan areas with the smallest price increases were Dallas, Texas, unchanged, Austin, Texas, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Tampa, Florida. The highest price increases were reported in Anaheim, California, Detroit, Michigan, West Palm Beach, Florida, 13.4%. New Brunswick, New Jersey. Hold on, let me scroll down. There was a pop-up video ad. At the national level, home prices have been on the rise since June 2023, currently continuing to climb. The median sale price of a home in the U.S. has risen to a record of $383,188. The median, my word. According to Redfin, up 4.8% year on year. Wait, let me scroll up and look at this picture. Does this picture represent the houses that they're talking about? I'm looking at the yard sizes. I'm looking at the lawn size, backyard. It's okay. In my humble opinion, it's okay. Some of them have pools. I don't like pools. I don't want all that maintenance and such. No. This house has a very nice yard. 300. Yeah, I guess so. I guess they look sizable. 383,000 for those. Neighborhood looks nice. Streets look clean. Everything looks well taken care of. Yeah, I suppose I could see that. For those. It said the median. Not every area is going to look like that. All right. Not all neighbors are going to be quiet. You know what I mean? Don't judge a book by its cover. That works both ways. Just know that. Go check these places out. Talk to the people in the area. Read reviews online. I'm telling you, don't get set up. It looks nice. And you go on that particular day and it just happened to be all great. And then you move in there and there's a problem. Do your research, folks. It says as skyrocketing prices and high mortgage rates squeeze many aspiring buyers out of the market, cooling down demand, the U.S. housing market experienced a price correction between the late summer 2022 and spring 2023. Despite still high mortgage rates, the historic supply shortage plaguing the U.S. housing market started bringing prices back up in the summer of 2023. According to Redfin, there were fewer new listings last month than any year on record, with exceptions of 2020 and 2023. New listings were up 15% year on year in April, right as the home buying season is heating up. It says mortgage rates have also continued climbing, despite the fact that the inflation has slowed down. Inflation has slowed down and is now much lower than the peak. Okay, I see. That's the comparison. The peak reached in 2022. The weekly average hit its highest level in 5 months, Redfin reported, with a median monthly housing payment reaching $2,890, up 15% compared to a year earlier. All right, so now let's move on here. We had another housing article, but we'll skip that one for now. Maybe I'll put that in the members only section. Let's do a little bit of U.S. Treasuries news. All right. Let's see if it pops up, if it actually comes up. So now, this article is titled, Treasuries Soar. They pull forward. It says here, it says bond market parties on as jobs data revive Fed rate cut bets. My word. Let's scroll down here. We'll read this little tidbit. It says, the world's biggest bond market is back in celebration mode after its worst month in more than a year. It says evidence that the U.S. labor market is finally softening is in response to the Federal Reserve's interest rate increases, revived bets that the central bank will begin lowering rates by the end of the year. We will see. We shall see. Even the Fed, there was a representative from one of the Feds that came out recently. It was saying how that it's a possibility that rates may remain the same throughout the rest of the year, and that maybe next year they could be looking at a cut early in next year. We'll see. It's just that person's opinion. It says that enabled the bond market to extend a rally that began Wednesday after supportive comments by Fed boss Jerome Powell. While the gains faded somewhat ahead of next week's Treasury note and bond auctions, yields remain lower for a third straight day. The 2-year notes yield has fallen more than 20 basis points since Tuesday, its biggest decline over a three-day period since January. Quote, today's job report, though it wasn't a disaster, further confirmed to the Fed that monetary policy is restrictive, unquote, said Priya Misra, a portfolio manager at JP Morgan Asset Management. Quote, all of this keeps the cuts narrative alive, and it's positive for both treasuries and risk assets. All right. There's room for rates to fall further. And if the consumer price report shows moderation, then this thing is really going to run, unquote. All right. So now I have a lot more articles, but let's just jump to the commodities article. We will end here with a little bit of gold news, So I love gold until the very end. I don't care what anybody says. I'm bullish on gold, especially with the banks having massive problems. It is what it is. A lot of what we said has come to pass. It went way past our price prediction, which was $2,100, right? And it's just been going up and up and up. Probably have some consolidation right now, but I'm just speaking about like overall long-term last few years. Banks had gone down last year. We were talking about this about 2.5 years ago about banks possibly going down. Then they collapsed last year. Then gold skyrocketed, right? We said, hey, some more banks are going down. A week or two ago, another bank went down. Listen, things are looking good in my humble opinion for commodities overall. But it says this, gold stabilizes at $2,305, down 0.60%. That's nothing to me. Amid positive sentiment, lower U.S. Treasury yields, softer U.S. dollar. Fed holds funds rate, tweaks to QT program influence market dynamics. Chair Powell urges caution on rate changes pending clearer inflation progress. Gold prices cling to $2,300 figure in the mid-North American session on Thursday amid an upbeat market sentiment. Falling U.S. Treasury yields and a softer U.S. dollar. Traders are still digesting Wednesday's comments. And listen, go to Treasury yields and then check the charts so you can see which ones went up and what they're doing or which ones went down. They're all different. Go make sure you go check those. OK, I know I haven't posted that in a while. Traders are still digesting Wednesday's comments of the Federal Reserve's chairman, Jerome Powell, and the U.S. Central Bank's decision to hold rates unchanged. Meanwhile, data showed the U.S. trade deficit narrowed a tick and the labor market is still tight. I said what I said before because they don't specify. It says the XAU USD trades at 2,305 down 0.60%. They reiterate that again. I don't know why. They just did that in the first paragraph. Market participants expected a more hawkish tilt by the Fed, which remained neutral. The central bank delivered a neutral monetary policy statement and announced it would reduce the pace of its quantitative tightening program. All right. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with this. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.